Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my how-to guide. I'm playing Manor Lords. I'm going to be showing you how to do the basics to make things go swimmingly well. As you can see, I have spawned here in this village of Imen whatever Mijobi, and I should probably rename it Winner in a minute. Emenruth. Emenruth. There you go. You don't have to read it upside down. It's right there. So I will be doing this, following this to-do list, which will be in the comments down below, in the information I have down below. So this is, as I said, a how-to. I don't know how much we'll get through this list that I want to do. But this is the basics of how to build a good settlement in Manor Lords. So the first thing to do is to scout the area, decide what to concentrate on. Is your settlement going to be foraging or farming? Is it going to be trading or mining or both, or, you know, something like that? And then we build a well, a logging camp. Maybe we build a sawpit. I'll explain why we need these things and where to site them all in a minute. Okay, so in almost all cases, I'm just reading out the stuff here. In almost all cases, resources in Manor Lords have to be physically moved. Okay, so we can change the game speed down here, and you have the month indication down here, which is March at the moment. You always start in March, which is spring. It is a nice start then, because you have to have gathered all your firewood and food to get you through winter, which would otherwise be quite rough. Right, looking around my little domain of Imenruth, I have some rich deposit, a rich deposit with this crown here, rich deposit, it says rich deposit, of wild animals, which is brilliant. Rich deposits mean that if you aren't foolish, you can have, well, permanent supply of food there. So by being foolish, I mean you limit how much you hunt, so that there's always at least 20 animals there. I'll show you how to limit the so that's probably going to be my first food source that I go after. There's some berries, which is also brilliant. It's a seasonal thing, berries, as you can see. If it's not got a coloured ring around it, then there's not enough there. I'll just stop the video, stop the game, sorry, not the video, while I talk you through the basics here. So if it's got a ring around it, that means it's fully stocked. So the wild animals are fully stocked. These berries are not stocked at all because they're seasonal, and in winter they die back. Now this is an iron pit, which is again a rich deposit, so that's infinite. Notice the berries are not a rich deposit. The iron ore is a rich deposit, so that's a lot of iron ore you can get there. 2,418, you don't need that much. And also if you do a deep mine, that'll be good for you. This is the clay deposit. This is not a rich deposit, but again, set limits, and we don't need that amount of clay. We need it for clay tiles for the roofs, but that's a way bit down the game. We've also got some stone deposits here. Again, we don't need a huge amount of stone deposits, but we can trade in these things. Moving on to trade, over here we have a trading post. Now, that's important. Trade is the best way to get money. Money is the best way to get mercenaries and to do things in this game, as always. Anyway, so if you hover over this, this is a trading post, cheap goods import, blah, blah, blah. No, this type of road is called a King's Road. And when you build your own trading post, because that's, you know, the King's trading post, he's giving you this plot of land to see what you will do with it under the old feudal things. So it seems my little campers are camped out here. Let's zoom in and see what's going on. just a little bit about navigating. You've got the W key goes up, S goes back, A goes left, D goes right, as you would expect. F spins you around in a giddy sort of drone aerial view. And so F is quite useful. And then you zoom in and zoom out as you would, and you can zoom right in. You can walk amongst the people. There you go. Yes, I'm a man of the people. Yes, I'm walking. Have a look around. Yeah, it's not a bad spot for you peasants. Yes, we'll see what you can do with it. Right, so that's enough of that. Time I pressed play and got on with the game, I think. I'll read the first message. This bloke here, Hildebolt von Brurererter, is pain in the neck. He thinks that all the land is his. I think the backstory is both you and he are lords appointed by the king as feudal lords to sort things out. There's a lot of brigandage around here, a lot of brigands, thieves, cutthroats, all that sort of stuff. And you've got to look after the peasants and get them all shaped up into nice law-abiding chaps who can resist these thieves. Anyway, I'm not going to bother talking to anybody. I only talk when I've got a big enough army to talk, otherwise it's just not worth talking about. These are the homeless. You start off with five unassigned families and an ox. The ox is at a hitching post. You start off with some supplies, a bit of wood. Never say that the Lord doesn't give his peasants some basics and some food here. So, first job. First job is scout the area. We've done that. What are we going to do? Well, I'm going to go foraging for my food, not farming. I should have perhaps shown you how to see if the area is good for farming. Farming is technically hard. A lot to learn on that. I'll do other videos about farming later. For now, it's going to be easier to get food through foraging wild animals and supplementing them with some berries, and also planting some veggies in your back plots. So the things to do, you can look around here and see if you click on this hammer construction thing, just to carry on with talking you through the controls here. That's for building roads. I'll show you building a road in a minute. But for the construction side, you've got all sorts of choices of things like residential, logistics, blah, blah, blah. I'll take you through those. But for now, this shows you the fertility of the land for farming, which, as I said, we're not going to do, but just, as you can see, not very fertile. If it's orange or deep orange, it's not fertile. This is for a crop called Emma. So these lands are not fertile for planting that. Flax, blooming awful. Barley, no better. Rye, pretty poor. So I think it's been a good instinct there to not go down the farming route. This is going to be a foraging and trading thing. Right. So first thing to do is to build a well. Now that we've decided the basics, to build a well, you need to see, go down here into construction, go into residential, and choose well. People need to drink. So you must site your well on top of these sort of like underground water streams, underground water sources. So you can see over here, there's quite a bit. Luckily for us, there's one quite local. I'm going to put my well here. That'll be the first thing I build. So it's early game, you want everything close to hand. You don't want your people commuting far. You know what I mean? You know, at the best of times, the Waterloo and City line is packed. But here, it would be, you know, they haven't even got underground trains for it. Okay, so you can see what it needs. It needs one log, and you can follow as the ox is led with its log from this pile of supplies. It's all very logical. So Mr. Oxy here who is a choke point because he's the only guy big enough to haul these logs around. So hence one of the earliest things that we want to do is expand and get 2 oxen. So I was optimistic about how much we could do in this first video. We've had 10 minutes and we've just started doing the well. You can see it's almost done. The next thing to tick off, we've had a scout around the area and talked about the how to navigate and all the buttons. Well, not all the buttons, but the most important one. We've done the well. Next is logging camp, because this is a finite resource of timber. When that's done, you ain't getting no more logs if you haven't got a logging camp. So if you haven't built a logging camp, you have lost the game if you've built loads of stuff and you haven't built a logging camp. So next thing to do is a logging camp. Now I'm thinking here, there's a King's Road down there. I want a trading, I've got to put my trading post, because I'm not going for farming, I'm going for trading. So I'm going to have to put a trading post on there, on that King's Road. Here you go. So I need to break through to the King's Road. So that's about a block of housing down there. And so to clear this without and still make use of it, I'm going to put my logging camp right there. Logging camp is under gathering, and then here you go, logging camp. So I'm going to try and get this logging camp done, uproot 2 trees. Actually, first I am going to build a road so that I laid out my little, what's in my head becomes real. So I'll just there we go. You click on the little hammer here, or mallet, and that will make the road. And then we need another road here to connect it up to the hitching point so that the ox knows what to do. So I'm going to connect that to there. So the ox is a nice little road. And then this goes down to this area. We'll have a granary here and put that away, but first we build the logging camp. Now we have an area in which to put our logging camp, which later, this logging camp, I won't put a forester's hut. I won't perpetuate the planting of trees. I want these trees gone so that I can have a nice block of housing there. So let's pump down this logging camp right here. Now we've got it right on the corner there. Kabang! You get building. I'm going to put it to highest. You can see how to manipulate that. You just click on the actual site that you want to build. There's actually no other builds in the queue, and there's 5 families doing it, but I'm just showing you how to make it the highest. As you can see, Mr. Roxy has to drag 2 logs over there and then build this. So that's that. We've got a well. We're making a logging camp. We're down here. I might do a sawpit. There's 2 ways in which to increase the number of oxen, which is one of the next targets to do, is increase the oxen, because only 1 ox to haul the timber means that these 5 families can only work on one thing at a time, really. You need at least 2 ox. So to do that, we can either expand the hitching post, build it up bigger, or we can make another hitching post. If you make another hitching post, you don't have to build a sawpit, but if you expand the hitching post, you need planks, and for planks, you need a sawpit. So I might put a sawpit down here, which we will need in any case anyway. So next episode, we will do that. For now, I will remind you of our to-do list, which will appear in together with complete instructions below the video. So please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Here, as promised, is the list of things that we're going to do. Bye for now. Ta-ra.